We begin with the sentence, many students sincerely want good grades. When diagramming, we want to start by finding the subject and the verb of the main clause. In this case, students want. Who wants? Students want. Students what? Students want. And what do they want? Students want grades. So here we have subject, verb, direct object. The direct object is grades. It's answering a question about what students want. And now we look at some modifiers. Here we have an adverb modifying the verb want, and two adjectives, each of which is modifying nouns. Which students or how many students? And the answer is many. What kind of grades? And the answer is good. Many students around the world sincerely want good grades. Around the world is called a prepositional phrase. Specifically, it's an adjectival prepositional phrase because it's modifying the noun, and that's what adjectives do. We start with a preposition on a slanted line, the object of the preposition, world in this case, on a horizontal, and any modifiers underneath. In this case, the is modifying world. Many students around the world want more than just good grades. Here we have a compound direct object because we have a plural, more than one. Grades and a sense. What kind of sense? A sense of confidence. So many students want good grades and a sense of confidence. And this is how a compound direct object would be diagrammed. And now we have two participles introduced. So what kind of sense? A lasting sense. So sense is a noun, lasting is a type of adjective. And what kind of confidence? Earned confidence. Confidence is a noun, and earned is a type of adjective. But these are called participles because last and earn originally are verbs. They are things that can be done. So if you have a verb that ends in an ing or an ed or a t, functioning as an adjective, these would be called participles. Now we know sense is a noun, and here we have an entire clause modifying it. So this is called an adjective clause. A clause has a subject and a verb at minimum, and here you will see that is the subject, and does fade is the verb, not in contraction form is an adverb, and so is away. Our sentence is growing now, and now we have a complex sentence because we have a subordinate clause underneath an independent clause. Subordinate clause is because freedom and opportunity follow. It has a subject, in this case, a compound subject, a verb, and a subordinating conjunction because that links it to the independent clause. Notice the sentence in black makes sense on its own, and the sentence in purple needs more for it to make sense, so it is dependent or subordinate. And now we have a compound complex sentence. It's complex because we have an independent and a dependent clause combined. And it's a compound because down here in this section, we have two independent clauses joined together with a coordinating conjunction, and in this case. One other thing that's interesting, it feels good is similar to students want grades, but you'll see they look different. It feels good has a linking verb, feels, and it's followed by a predicate adjective. Good is an adjective for the subject, it, and feels is a verb that links good to it. And now we answer the question, it feels good how? It feels good to give a chance. To give is something called an infinitive, and that's because give is a verb, and anytime you have a verb that's preceded by the word to, that creates an infinitive. And in this case, to give is functioning like an adverb because it's modifying good. We actually have an infinitive phrase here, to give a great chance. So chance is the object of the infinitive. What kind of chance? A great chance. And then to give a great chance to whom? To whom? Themselves is the answer. So to give themselves a great chance. In this case, themselves is an indirect object, and you can only have an indirect object if you also have a direct object. In this case, chance is the direct object. You see that sentences start to become a little bit complicated as we go deeper. And we know it feels good to give themselves a great chance, but what kind of chance? A chance of succeeding on their own terms. And here is an interesting word, succeeding. Succeed is a verb. It's something that you can do. But when you have a verb with an ing attached to it, and it's functioning as a noun, that's called a gerund. And this is how it would be diagrammed. So you have the ing on a lower step. And then the question is succeeding how? And we have a prepositional phrase on their own terms. And here we have our sentence fully evolved and completed, and we end with a compound prepositional phrase. It feels good to give themselves a great chance of succeeding. How? Both on their own terms and toward their own goals. And just like that, we have diagrammed a complex compound sentence with many different parts of speech and many different grammatical structures. I hope you enjoyed.